So there's a lot of questions that people have about Hawaii online. And as someone who was born and raised in Hawaii and is currently living here with my family, I thought I'd take my crack and offer a local's perspective. I could probably make 10-minute videos on all of these topics, but I'm gonna try to limit myself to just 3 minutes. We'll see how that goes. And if you have any further advice, please leave them in the comments below. By the way, I just thought I'd take a nice stroll in downtown. Not really sure where I'm going, just wandering around during my lunch break. Hello from Hawaii. Okay, so question number 1. Hi everyone, I've been making future plans on moving to the mainland, or traveling at the very least. Either way, I'm going to the mainland as I'm entering the army after high school graduation. But I'm a bit nervous. Is the mainland really as bad as people say it is? I'm also nervous regarding racism, discrimination, if there are any. Being a Filipino Micronesian dude, I've had my fair share of racist comments. And if we're being honest, Micronesians already don't have the best reps here in Hawaii. Would I be discriminated against just for being Micronesian? Well, being Japanese American, I can't speak for the Filipino or Micronesian experience, but I can speak about going to the mainland and experiencing racism or discrimination. Chances are you're gonna feel a little bit different when you go to the mainland, but that's just something that you're gonna have to get used to. You're gonna have to get used to everybody kind of looking the same and you sort of standing out. But the thing is, I never really let that bother me when I was on the mainland. I mean, it was pretty obvious. I was the only one who was Japanese. I was the only Asian in a classroom full of students in Colorado. And for me, that was fine. That's what I wanted to experience when I went to the mainland. And so for me, that's something that should be embraced. I know that Micronesians have a reputation here in Hawaii. I won't go too much into that if you're unfamiliar. But to me, when you go to the mainland, they're not gonna know that. Most people don't know what a Micronesian looks like, or for that matter, what someone who is Filipino looks like. And so when you go to the mainland, they're probably gonna think of you as Hispanic. But the thing is, when you start talking and you say that you're from Hawaii, they're gonna think, oh wow, cool, you're Hawaiian. And in fact, it should be, I think, your responsibility to correct them and say, oh no, I'm just from Hawaii. I'm not Hawaiian, I'm just from Hawaii, and then you can go on to explain that there is a big difference. Because anytime anyone ever mislabeled me as being Hawaiian, I always try to correct them and say, oh no, I'm just from Hawaii. And I think that's fine to make that clarification because they don't know. In the same way that we would assume, oh, everybody from maybe, let's say, Alaska is an Eskimo. Not true. But we kind of just tend to think about that because we don't really know much better. All right, question number 2. Crowdsourcing ideas for good omiyage for mainland trips. I've been bringing the standard coffee and chocolate mac nuts, but that gets old if you're seeing the same people repeatedly. What are some other omiyage ideas that are thoughtful, easy to transport, and won't break the bank? Need to give to about 20 people. We'll also take non-food related ideas if you have them. By the way, it should be okay if I walk that way, right? There's a cop car right there. I don't really walk down all these streets, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so a couple of ideas here. Number 1, I think you should bring Diamond Bakery crackers and cookies. Now I know they're a little fragile because they're crackers and cookies, but you can buy them in the box and there'll be a lot to give out. I think it's fairly cheap, especially if you go to Costco or Sam's, you can buy them in the bigger bulk, then you can share them. To me, that's an island favorite. I've never tasted Royal Cream crackers anywhere else, so to me that's very special. And if you're from Hawaii, you know that the soda crackers that they make, oh, so good. And speaking of Costco and Sam's, you can also go and grab that tub of Hawaiian Host chocolates, you know, the variety pack with the plain mac nuts, you got the one with the caramel, and I think the dark chocolate. But that was a huge favorite for when I would go to the mainland. I would always go up and grab that and give to my roommates, everybody that I knew, because it's small, it's cheap. If it melts, not so bad, but it's just very small and cheap and you can give plenty. And another suggestion would be Hawaiian Sun powdered juice. Now you could try bring the cans of juice, but you know, it's kind of heavy, yeah? But if you bring the powdered stuff, you can make the juice there and just add water. My mom then used to send me that all the time in care packages, and trust me, they don't make juice like that on the mainland. So that's kind of a cool thing, you know, for kids or people, and it can technically serve a lot of people depending on how far they stretch out that juice. But it's very unique to Hawaii. It has the Hawaiian Sun on top, fairly cheap pouches, and very easy to pack. So when you go to the mainland, it's not gonna take up too much room. And my last suggestion would probably be mac nuts in a can. They're well protected, so when you travel, you don't have to worry about them getting smashed. as well as the fact that they're small, you can give them out to a lot of people, and people generally like macadamia nuts. Of course, these aren't my favorite local snacks, so I wouldn't bring them for like myself. That would of course be taro chips and hurricane popcorn, but because you can't really transfer them and because of the number of people that are involved, I wouldn't recommend bringing those things. It just would be too much of a hassle and you have to bring kind of a lot. For non-food related items, maybe go and bring them some slippers, some locals slippers. I mean, they're really cheap, just gotta get their foot size, and I think they'd like it. It'd be something that I would love, like slippers from Hawaii or flip-flops from Hawaii. But I think that would be kind of a cool gift, something that people don't normally give. Easy to pack, fairly cheap, and if you're from Hawaii, you'll get a kick out of them. Oh yes, wonderful traffic.
I need to go this place.
Oh, do you need help? Oh, you're looking for North King Street?
Yeah, North King Street.
Okay, and you're right here? So you could probably just walk straight up Bethel. So this is Bethel Street right here. Yeah, so if you just walk there, you'll run into King Street. Hold on, let me make sure I'm giving you the right directions. I'll enter it on my phone, I'm not sure, I just want to double check. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna walk this way. So we're right here, and you're gonna walk up to South King Street, and then you're gonna turn left and just keep walking all the way up there. So we're right here, you're just gonna walk up. So this is 1 block and then 2 blocks.
2 blocks.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you're gonna turn left. So you're gonna go 2 blocks. So you see this traffic light right here? This is Merchant Street.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the street after that one. Okay?
Thank you very
Okay, no problem. All right, sorry, that kind of threw me off there. Okay, last question. I know I'm not the best candidate for every job, but I've got maybe 2 callbacks on 30 to 40 job applications that weren't DoD or government contracting. Are y'all really hiring or just not hiring non-locals? Something interesting I heard today was if you don't have an 808 number, you won't get a callback. Is this true? I'm just trying to figure out y'all hiring practices so I can get in somewhere. All right, so just a couple of things. One, we don't really say y'all. I know that's a Southern thing, but maybe a Texas thing, but yeah, we don't say y'all. But that's okay, that's okay. Speaking about the 808 number, I do have a lot to say about that, but I will try to condense it down. I actually don't have an 808 number. I switched my phone number when I went to the mainland to a Colorado number, and I've kept that number ever since. And the reason why I've kept it is mostly just because I'm too lazy to change it, but I've never found that that was what was stopping me from getting a job. Oh my gosh, it's so windy. Now I have heard about this idea that people don't hire non-808 numbers. I'm not saying that it's okay, but I completely understand from a hiring perspective, because oftentimes people will apply for jobs and they're not even on the island and they're supposed to start in like 2 weeks. And so it's a little discouraging as a hiring person if the person that you're trying to hire isn't even here. It's gonna take maybe a month or 2 for them to even get here. So I can see how that can be a little challenging. But that being said, I don't think that a good manager should limit just where your cell phone is from. I mean, if that was the case, I would never really be hired here because I don't have an 808 number myself. And when it comes to your situation, I think hiring is just fairly slow here in Hawaii. People take a long time to get back because we're on Hawaii time, right? Island time, where things take like 2 to 3 weeks when normally they should take a few days. So I wouldn't get too discouraged if you haven't heard anyone came back to you. That's just kind of how things are. And with that, that's the end of this video. Hope those answers were helpful or useful. And like I mentioned, please put any suggestions or advice in the comments below. Thanks for watching and aloha.
Hello.